Good morning, everybody. And we're live. Good to be here. What a great day. I tell you, it has just been fantastic. The last 24, 48 hours have just been fantastic. So, what do you folks think about Tim Walz? Hmm? I tell you, I haven't felt this good in a long time. So let's just go ahead and fill our cups, grab a pen and paper. You know what? Actually, let's just go ahead and roundtable this as we go. Let's just make it a back and forth discussion as we go. Let's do this. Oh man, life is good. Life is good. Before we get into the Tim Walz stuff, and I know you're excited to do it, I'm excited to do it. We've got some news. Y'all may remember Valentina Gomez. I showed you a picture of her before. We talked about her. We had a good laugh on her behalf, on her dime, because she was one of the Republican suck-ups that showed up down at the border. She showed up with a couple bundles of chicken wire. Y'all may remember that picture I put up. I'm not going to go there. Well, anyways, she went on, and she's just a pretty awful person. She really is. She's just a pretty awful person. This is the kind of stuff she posted. I mean, voluntarily. Nobody had to dig this stuff up. This is new stuff. This is stuff she posted on her own. This is who she is and who she wanted you to know that this is who she is.
I will make fat and slut shaming great again. It's fun and necessary. Jess Piper is a fat pig that I call lying about being swatted, is guilty of campaign finance violations, and is now trying to cancel a young, hardworking American by the name of Cody Siebert, who happens to support me. Cody and his family are the toxic.
Okay, enough of that. Yeah. First of all, yeah, she said all that stuff. She is just a horrific human being. And she's sitting there making fun. Those of y'all that follow Jess Piper know that actually Jess Piper was swatted. Somebody called the police to her house in one of those fake reports. And you know how dangerous that is. Jess Piper's going to be on the show here in sometime in the next few weeks. We've been talking back and forth. She's really great. She's ran for office. She's fantastic. She really is fantastic. She's from Missouri. She's like me. She's a very red, very blue dot in a very red area. But yeah, she was swatted, and here she is just making fun of that. On top of all the other horrific crap that she says, Valentina Gomez is not a nice person. And despite the fact that it actually screws me, and I am not going to be able to monetize this show because the background music, we're going to play a couple of her videos. She likes to lift music from popular songs, and it's just going to copyright screw me, but I don't even care. You need to hear about this. Okay. Peter Campbell, thanks for the support. Good day, Paul, Mr. There's a brand new dance it's taking all over the nation. It's called the Harris-Walz. I'm sorry. I keep calling them vaults. Whoo, man, the emails you folks sent me. Good Lord. Let me tell you something. My granddaddy barely spoke English. He spoke English with the thickest German accent you've ever heard in your life. My grandma, who died when I was very young, was Norwegian. My grandpa was full German. When I see WALZ, I read Waltz. like Valtz, Waltz, like Christoph Waltz, the actor. So you have to excuse me. I am going to call Tim Walz Tim Walz sometimes. It's just who I am, people. We'll all survive. Don't send me any more mean emails. Because I tell you, Tim Walz supporters, whoo, I'm loving that energy, baby. I am loving that energy. Just keep it firing at them Republicans, okay? Ooh, I got to tell you, one woman was just mad. She was mad. She thought I was mocking him. I had to explain to her, no, ma'am, no, I'm just, no. Oh, that's a good try. There's no E in Schroeder. I mean, there is. You can spell it that way, but that's a whole different bloodline. There's only one E. There's not two E's. All right. Well, this is another one. I really hate that she dubs music underneath this. It makes it so hard for creators to call her out for this shit. I think that's why they do it, because it doesn't really add shit to the production value. But yeah, it's worth hearing what the stuff that she has to say.
Republicans are full of guns, food, and ammunition. And these Democrats are full of gay shit, pronouns, and even more gay shit. Let's make America great again.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Yeah. I mean, she's just a piece of crap. She has been. She always has been. Believe me, I'm not showing you the worst. I am not showing you the worst of the shit she says. And of course, being a good God-fearing Christian man, she uses gay slurs. She's just a horrible human being. She really is. And being a good Christian, of course, you would want to let somebody as awful as this human being. Heidi, good to see you. Wonder Woman is in the audience. Always good to see you. Amen. Amen. I am so excited about the second part of today's show where we're talking about Tim Walz and Kitty, Tim Walz and Kitty. I did it again. Sorry, lady. I'm sorry. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. I mean, I haven't seen this level of happiness and excitement and so you people, I love you people. I love that you even know what an umlaut is. I love you people so much. Oh my God. Oh man, that is great. That is great. But anyways, this wonderful Christian guy right here, you'd think that, wouldn't really want to be part of somebody like Valentina Gomez, but you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong. See this right here? This is the speaker's balcony. Not everybody gets up there. You don't get to shoot a commercial on the speaker's balcony without approval from the speaker.
I am at the speaker's balcony, and they don't like me here, and neither in Jefferson City. But I don't give a fuck. I speak the truth, catch pedophiles, and I will be Missouri's 41st secretary.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our Republican Party. That's our Republican Party. Good news is, she just got her butt stomped into a mud hole. Her election was yesterday, and they Tuesday's election day, folks. Are you watching the calendar? Tuesdays are election day. She's out, got 7% of the vote. But if you go to her website, if you go to her website, she was running for Missouri Secretary of State. If you go to her website, she's from Columbia. If you go to her website, somebody said it sounds like a Slavic accent. It's a Colombian accent. Amen, Marcia. We are not going back. I love that. I love that. That is great. That is a perfect catchphrase. I love that. We are not going back. Kudos to the Harris campaign. That is a good one. We are not going back. But She is off, and I'm looking at myself. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I got the beard going on. I want to pause for a second. I have to apologize to you. I try to look presentable. I try to look professional. But the second half of the year, you folks that are longtime members of the audience know what this is all about. My youngest granddaughter knows, I am a member of the Santa's White Beard Club, which means I am one of Santa's helpers, which means you can tell me what you want for Christmas, and I can tell Santa directly because, I am part of the infrastructure that helps the Christmas presents come. But you can't be in Santa's White Beard Club without having a white beard. So every year at the end of the year, I got to throw that freaking beard back. But yeah, here we go. So the next few weeks, I'm going to look a little scruffy till the beard comes back. But yeah, I'm talking about Valentina Gomez. Yeah, she got her ass handed to her, folks. She did. All of that. The Burl lives. Like, I get that so much. Hillbilly Burl lives. I get that a lot, man. But yeah, she got just stomped. The good part is she only got 7% of the vote. The bad part is 7% of the vote was 50,000 people. Yeah, working on it, babe. Working on it. 50,000 people showed up and voted for that. If you go to her Twitter page and you look at her supporters, you look at the people that follow her and post stuff, it is monolithic. It is white guys my age, white beards, a little bit of a belly, and they're frickin' amosexuals. And they are the kind of people, when you look at them, they say the same damn slurs that she does. They're the same damn nuts that she is. There is this core of the Republican Party that is middle-aged white guys my age that are just freaking broken people. And believe me, it is worth it. If you go to Twitter, it's Valentina for SOS, Secretary of State. It is worth your time to take 5 minutes to go to her page and look at some of the posts and all the awful crap that she says. And then look at the people that respond and the kind of response that come. Hey, New Zealand's in the house. All right. Yes, we know what Kiwi land is. Good to see you. But yeah, it is really worth it. They are a monolithic group. Lori, good to see you. I'm glad everybody's so excited about Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. The Harris-Walz is just... It's just been fantastic. It is fantastic. I have to tell you, it snuck up on us, but it's been fantastic. I'll get to that in just a minute, though. That a couple things that I want to cover. We are absolutely not going back. Sherry Foster, amen. Last night's VP speech was fantastic. Amen. I've got a couple clips of it that I'm sure a lot of you have already seen that you folks are going to love. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate you guys. Christopher Daly, you tell Santa that I want affordable housing for every American this Christmas. I got a clip for you from Trump on that subject. And we really should do a whole show on the housing market. It is corporate America driving up the cost of housing. It really is. It started, you remember what Detroit went through. Billionaires went in and took advantage of that situation. You had houses just sitting empty, selling for literally pennies on the dollar that were just dilapidating. You had corporations and billionaires go in and buy up these houses and do nothing with them. Because when they were condemned, they were actually worth more than what they paid for them. When the city came in and demolished them, they actually made more than what they paid for them. They profited off letting these neighborhoods just dissolve. It was horrible. And then these billionaires figured out, hey, this is a great way to make money. Let's just invest in every cheap house we can find. And they've been doing that nationwide, literally just hoovering up every we got to do a whole segment on this. I don't want to get sideways, but yeah, the high cost of housing isn't so much a natural supply and demand issue. It is the billionaire class breaking it off in us again. We'll do a segment on that. We really will, because it's super important. Leland Rogers, drinking coffee and loving this. Yeah, me too, brother. Me too. Kamala, nailed it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I keep it. I appreciate all the support. I'm not going to get anywhere if I don't focus here. But look, yeah, we have some good news and a few things that are happening that I want to cover before we get into Tim Walz, because I want that discussion, like I said, to be a roundtable. I want us to have a discussion back and forth on it. So let me just get a couple of these things out of the way. One, Valentina Gomez got destroyed. And yes, I absolutely, even though she's awful, I want you to go look at her, and I want you to go look at who her followers are. They are monolithically guys my age, beards, amosexuals. I mean, these guys look like they masturbate with their guns. I'm telling you, she has a type, and it's really worth looking at this so that you can see who these people are and who she's pandering to, because she's not going to disappear. She is young. She has figured out she can get attention and money doing this. She will be just like Trump. She will grift every damn election. And she's figured out there's this horrible niche core of the Republican Party, and she will never go away. So at least allow yourself to know who and what she is. We have so many of our group here that are Canadian. I wanted to touch on a little something that is just blown up in Canada real quick. This is just fantastic. Canada, I mean, life's just different in Canada, and they don't put up with the same crap. Pierre Poilievre has been busted. He's the opposition leader who's always, you've got Justin Trudeau on the left, you got Pierre Poilievre on the right. He's been busted using bot farms. And we've talked about bot farms over and over and over again. Poilievre, yeah. And here is one of his big supporters, Andrew Scheer, wanting to come out and talk about, let me ask you, a right-winger that loves Putin, what do you think he was talking about? Wild guess. What do you think he was talking about? Right-winger that loves Putin. I'll just answer. We ain't got time. Immigration. Of course. Immigration. But they weren't letting it go. They've been busted using bot farms. And I absolutely love this. Absolutely love this. This is what they're facing after every press conference. It's fantastic. So, yeah. And what I absolutely love about this is if you just, the responses to that, not surprisingly, are inundated with bots. All over Twitter, every one of these that come out get flooded with bots, but they also get flooded from people that are calling the bots out. And this is just fan-frickin-tastic. I absolutely love this. Let me blow this up for you here. This is an example of what they're doing. And this is just fantastic. And we need more of this here. This is why I'm saying this. I'm saluting our Canadian friends. We need more of this here. Pierre had a rally, and immediately on X, you get all of these bots out there talking about how they just left the rally and how excited they are and how fantastic it was. It's the exact same verbiage. If you take a screenshot of this, you can blow it up. It's the exact same verbiage. Here, let me blow it up for you, make it a little easier. They're bots. They're all bots, repeating the same message over and over and over and over and over again. It is just all made up fake accounts, and they've been caught using them. And I absolutely want to stop for a second and say, thank you, my Canadian friends. Yeah, Russian bots, absolutely. Weaponized immigration, same stuff that we're always talking about, but Canadians aren't putting up with the shit. I love it. I love it. Andy Rome says, I don't watch Fox News for the same reason I don't eat out of the toilet. There you go. Harris-Walz 2024. Love it. I got a little clip for you here of Trump's interview. He's not doing well with Harris-Walz. He's really not doing well. He's just not doing well at all. And apparently, he doesn't know who he's running against or their policies, but here you go.
We know what Kamala Harris's record is, and we know what his record is, and they are extremely progressive. Talk about how you're going to handle this on the campaign trail. Will you just really hone in on how they voted in the past?
Well, I am. I'm going to be doing that. What he wants. If you look at his record with no walls, no security, let everybody in, he's worse than they are. You know, nobody knew how radical left she was, but he's a smarter version of her. If you want to know the truth, he's probably about the same as Bernie Sanders. He's probably more so than Bernie Sanders. She is more so than.
Okay, that's freaking hilarious. Tim Walz and Bernie Sanders, other than having the same barber, are nowhere anywhere related. Nowhere, not even close. Tell me you know nothing about the political spectrum without telling me you know nothing about the political spectrum. Tim Walz is right there. He is a Joe Biden Democrat. He is literally one strong breeze from being blown over the center line. Okay, he is a conservative Democrat. He was chosen as a conservative Democrat because he balances the ticket very well. It's hilarious to me. They're flailing. We're going to talk about some of the attacks today, but it's just been really just fantastic to see. And I have to tell you, I own up to it when I don't see something coming, or I don't think. I really did not put a lot of stock in Tim Walz. I didn't. Not when they were first talking to him. I appreciate you. I'll do that. Thank you, Phil and Linda. I appreciate the support. When they first started talking to Tim Walz, I said, I don't know. He just doesn't have that national appeal. He just doesn't. With 90 days, 90 to 100 days left, we're at 91 days out from the election. I really didn't think they would go that direction. And I am so glad they did. And most of the politicals out there were like, it's Shapiro, 100%. They're going to pick Josh Shapiro, who, by the way, was just freaking fire at their rally yesterday. I'm just in Philly. Just absolutely, Josh Shapiro was amazing. I did not see Tim Walz coming. I really didn't. But oh my God, has it been fan-freaking-tastic? Just fantastic. Everybody. The big knock that I saw that people were really worried about Tim Walz was, this is going to be Tim Kaine 2.0. It's going to be Tim Kaine 2.0. Well, it's like, I likened it to like if Tim Kaine and Gilbert Gottfried had a baby. I mean, because he's just the nicest guy you've ever seen. He really is. People really love Tim Walz. And it's not fake. Like JD Vance. It's not like, JD Vance just created this political persona. and tries to live it. This is literally who Tim Walz is. He's not faking it. It's just who the guy is. He is a really nice guy. And, he grew up let me show you. He was born in Nebraska. He grew up in a little town called Valentina, Nebraska, which is right. You can see where it's located in northern Nebraska. This dude knows what cold weather is, man. Let me tell you. This is Valentine. And then his father came down, developed lung cancer. And right about the time he was about to graduate from high school, they moved to a little town called Butte, which is right over here. It's so small, it's not even showing up on the map. I'll have to force it to show you Butte. And he graduated from high school in Butte. But he lived most of his life in Valentine. His dad was a teacher, and Tim Walz worked on farms in the summer. That's really common. It's really common in this area. That's what young men do. My kin, by the way, if you want to trace back my heritage, my kin are from this region around here, east and north of Omaha. And then prior to that, before they moved south, they were from Wisconsin, in the farming areas here in Wisconsin. But yeah, Tim Walz is not faking it, man. It's just who the guy is. And I got to tell you, if you missed the Philadelphia rally, it's on YouTube. It is really worth watching. If you didn't get a chance to see it, it is really worth watching. And if you're watching it on playback, you can fast forward through the stuff that we all had to sit through, where there was nobody on stage and commentary you didn't want to hear, or, if a speaker is just not doing it for you, you could just skip to the next speaker. But yeah, it was great. It was really great. And I don't know about you folks, but I'm not just feeling good. Before we get into the political part of it, I'm not just feeling good politically. I'm not. It's just an overall, fall's my favorite time of year. Christmas is huge in our house. And we've got 3 weeks, and we hit our first Burr month. I call them Burr months: September, October, November. We're only 3 weeks out from our first Burr month. We're about 6-8 weeks from the weather changing. Football season. Hell, I've watched my first preseason game. Pumpkin spice is coming back. Hell, I was at Sam's and Oktoberfest beer was on sale, man. It's just coming into that really good time of year. And knowing we're going to win this election and we're all going to be okay. I just want you to think about what this Christmas is going to be like for a second. Just fantasize with me. I just want you to think about what this Christmas is going to be like. Yeah, pumpkin pie. Oh man, pumpkin pie. I love, and sweet potato pie. And don't get me started. I will be fat forever. I will never be skinny for you. I'm sorry. I will never be skinny for you. But yeah, man, it's just, think about this Christmas. We're going to have saved our democracy. And the policies going forward are just going to be positive. Getting like we get with Joe Biden. President Biden, one of the best presidents we've ever had. We're sitting here doing our thing, living our lives, not fretting about anything and everything. And here, Joe Biden's handling the job. Iran says, well, we're going to launch one of the largest attacks in history. Yada, yada, yada. And all of a sudden, their GPS satellites quit working. No missile attack for you. Wonder how that happened. I wonder how all the GPS satellites on the western half of Iran just quit working. Because the man does his job. Think about that. That's what we're looking at. And I'm watching this rally. And it's just feeling so good. I mean, just feeling. And look, Josh Shapiro came out. Fire. He was on fire. Highly recommend when you go back and watch the Philadelphia rally, watch the Shapiro speech. Fire, pure fire. Let's talk about some of the attacks that are coming as we go through this. The Republicans will always try to attack your strengths. They will. They really thought a lot of us thought it was going to be Josh Shapiro. We really did. It's just, if no Pennsylvania, Trump can't win. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter. No Pennsylvania, Trump can't win. So they really believed it was going to be Josh Shapiro. Hell, I even believed it was going to be Josh Shapiro. It wasn't who I was pulling for, but I like Josh Shapiro. I thought it would be a great choice. That's the other thing too, folks, is everybody was such a great freaking choice. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling spoiled. We don't have to hang our hopes on one person. We have got such a deep bench. But yeah, the Republicans are in full freak out mode because it wasn't Shapiro. They had a whole slew of attacks set up for Shapiro. And the attacks that they're coming out against Tim Walz are just flailing. Just some of them are blowing up right in their faces. And oh yeah, the attacks are coming, folks. We're going to talk about some of those. But the attack coming out of, it's like the Republicans get to tell us who we were supposed to choose. And we didn't choose Shapiro, therefore we're bad people. And they're trying to go after conservative Jewish votes by saying, well, look at that. No Jew can be on the ticket. I'm like, dude, really? You think that's going to fly? Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Imhoff, is Jewish. Her stepchildren are Jewish. The Senate Majority Leader is Jewish. You are not going to sit there and sell this, and they're trying really freaking hard. They are. This is what the bots are pushing on social media about Shapiro, is that we're anti-Semites. We're all anti-Semites, and that's why Josh Shapiro couldn't be on the ticket, because he's Jewish, and we won't tolerate those Jewish people. I don't know. As somebody that's been following politics for a long time, that one's just hilarious to me. I mean, that one is really just hilarious to me. We're anti-Semites. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. Move on. But yeah, Josh Shapiro was fire. His speech was just, it got you, going. And then Kamala Harris came out, and her speech was inspiring. It was vision. It was, it really was. It was, this is what we're going to do. This is who we're going to be. This is who we're not going to be. It was very Obama-like. It was very high-minded, very much inspiring, very much lift everyone up. She even used the line that, hey, I am going to be president for everyone. You are not going to be left behind just because you are my political opposition. She really did deliver a very inspiring, very bright. It was like freaking daisies and roses, man. And it just left you with a good feeling when she was done. And then she introduces Tim Walz. And Tim Walz wanted you to know in his speech that not only is he a likable, fun guy, but he will punch a man in the throat. I mean, he will. He brought it. He's going to be a great. If you had any fears that Tim Walz is going to be a Tim Kaine 2.0, oh no. let me just. This is the line. I think this is going to have the greatest longevity. This is the one that's going to go the farthest, I believe. There was another one that I'm going to play for you that was just a wonderful zinger, but I think this is the one that's really going to.
Some of us in here are old enough to remember. I see you down there. I see those old white guys. Some of us are old enough to remember when it was Republicans who were talking about freedom. It turns out now what they meant was the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Boom. That was great. And that is going to hang. That is all over social media. People freaking love that line. There's a new golden rule. Mind your own damn business. I love that. Nailed it. That was the feel, the fire. That was the whole, just his entire speech was really, I mean, it was that good the whole way through. But by far the line that has caused the most excitement was this one. And I have to tell you, this is the cutest thing. I saw this and I was like, oh, and I immediately jumped up I was sitting in this very chair watching it on playback. We were in town taking care of it. I couldn't watch the rally live, but I wasn't going to miss it. So I watched it on playback. And I got to that point where he gives this next line I'm about to show you. And I was like, oh, and I jumped up from this chair and literally ran my rotund ass all the way across this house, went sliding into the bedroom. Honey, come here. You got to watch this. You got to watch this. Ran back, queued it back up, got the chair ready for her, sitting here. And she's sitting here watching this, right? She's sitting there watching this. And she's like, what? Okay, yeah, fire. Okay. What? She's grabbing my arm. What? It was fantastic, man. I'm telling you, everybody has had the same reaction. And this is just, I mean, I'm telling you, people, just prepare yourself.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale, had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on. That's not what middle America is. And I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy.
I'm already on fire, right? Yeah, watch her face. Watch her face.
That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did?
What?
Like all regular people I grew up with.
Oh my God, that was great. Oh my God. I loved it. And then he went on dad joke about it. He's like, did you see what I did there? Did you say? Oh my God, this is going to be a good election. Oh man, this is going to be a good election. I am telling you. And JD's offended. He's offended. That's very crass of him to say. Very, very crass of him. He's offended by that statement, but I don't give a damn. Do you? I don't give a damn. Oh, wrong side. I don't give a damn. Enjoying my GOP tears this morning. So are we all done worrying about whether Tim Walz, sorry, don't send that email, Tim Walz is a good choice? I am not worried in the slightest. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. And I've got to tell you, the GOP were not prepared for this. They were not prepared for this. Tim Walz has a great resume, great history, very nice family. Forgive me, I'm about 90% back, but I still have to pause for just a second. Forgive me. Sorry about that. But yeah, Tim Walz is just freaking killing it. Killing it. 100% just nailed it. I mean, it is worth going back and watching, and you need to go back and watch it. Trina Longa, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the support. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. And I can't do that on your behalf. You can't send me a donation and tell me to donate on your behalf. That is in the United States what we call a crime. But thank you very much for the support. Mind your own damn business is going to be the catchphrase that has, I mean, I'm telling you, the whole couch thing was funny. It was hilarious. It was. But I promise you, the mind your own damn business, there will be chants of that in rallies. It will be all over social media forever. That was a great line. Fantastic job. He's going to do a fantastic job. You know, it's the VP's job to be the attack dog for the ticket. It's their job. It's what they do. It allows the president to be, you know, and I'm just going to call her the president at this point. It allows the president, it allows Kamala Harris to be more focused on policy, to be more of a uniter than a divider, when she's got an attack dog that she can cut loose that really works. That was one of the mistakes that Hillary Clinton made. She had high negatives. People considered her to be, hell, I don't even know the right word for it. It's her demeanor. So she wanted to find somebody that countered that, and she came up with a VP that was mayonnaise. He was mayonnaise. There was just no spice to him at all. Tim Kaine is the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. You would love to spend Thanksgiving at his house, but he is not what you want in a vice president. You need a vice president that you have to literally jerk his chain back or her chain back to keep them under control. You really want that. You want them at the edge and beyond. And Tim Walz is killing it. Absolutely killing it right out the gate. Halo, I appreciate it. VP Harris was sent a letter from a long list of school groups advocating to not choose Shapiro since he was going along with funding cuts and giving. Yeah, had nothing to do. Thank you for the support, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. I cannot tell you the amount of gratitude I have for all the support that you send. I really appreciate it. I am just grateful that you're here, to be quite honest with you, but allowing me to do this full time, I'm highly grateful. Man, I got to tell you, Tim Walz, just everything. So of course I had to get in the Tim Walz business. Went and just did, some background on it from last night and this morning. Guy's got a great resume, and he's real. He is real. Like I said, he's born and raised in Nebraska, worked on farms. His dad was a teacher. He grew up, went to college, became a teacher himself. And he's interesting too. And this is what I love. I love people that have lived interesting lives. His first gig teaching after he gets his teaching degree is he took a job teaching English in China. He spent a year teaching in China and fell in love with China. He did. He really did. He fell in love with China. He started a company later on where he would take kids and set up safe tours for school kids, so the school kids in the summer could go visit China. He speaks fluent Mandarin. Of course, the Republicans are trying to make that a bad thing. They are really, he's a commie. The Chinese own him. No, he just is worldly. He's just worldly. This is an amazing picture. This is something that the corporate media is not showing you. This is an amazing picture. You people will understand the significance of this picture. This is on one of Tim Walz's trips to China. He got to meet the Dalai Lama, which is freaking amazing. I would love to meet the Dalai Lama. I would love to have met the Dalai Lama, pardon me. So yeah, I mean, you've got that. If the guy had just been a teacher, spoke Mandarin, was worldly, that'd be enough, man. That would be enough. But that's not his only career. He was also spent 24 years in the Army National Guard. Now, I want to tell you something interesting about this. Why are you getting this old picture of Tim Walz in black and white that's obviously a much younger picture of him? Well, because Tim Walz has never really, he's like been very humble about his service. He really has. I mean, the fact that he was in the Guard, he never made a big deal out of that. He just never did. Yeah, I understand that Tibet is not in China, but that is how he ended up meeting the Dalai Lama. But yeah, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. I read your comments as I do the show, folks. I really do. I read what you have to say. This is our community. But yeah, he spent 24 years. And for folks that haven't served like me, I never served. Many of you have never served. Somebody tells you somebody's a command sergeant major. Well, that doesn't mean shit to me. It really doesn't. I mean, well, it does to me because I actually happen to know I've got several friends in the military. But to most people, to be honest with you, if you're not in the military, and we do have military folks here, veterans, that is a big freaking deal. And they can explain the significance of actually making it to the rank of command sergeant major. For years, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't serve. I didn't know anything about the military. You asked me the difference between a sergeant, a first sergeant, a sergeant major, a command sergeant major. Eyes glazed over. I didn't know anything about that. It's a big freaking deal. There to make it to the rank of command. That is as far as you can get without becoming the sergeant major of the Army. Command sergeant major is huge. It is huge. It is huge. So, forgive me, because the Republicans are Republicans, and because of this guy, this is Lee Atwater, folks. This is Lee Atwater, the guy standing next to Ronald Reagan. That's Lee Atwater. This is the most awful human being that has done the most to destroy our country that you never heard of. Most of you will not know who Lee Atwater was. He very deservedly died a horrible death of cancer, and I wished it had taken longer. Lee Atwater is responsible for modern politics. He is. The way people are attacked and the way we don't talk policy, that's all Lee Atwater. And Lee Atwater had a disciple that I'm sure you have heard of, Karl Rove. You'll see him pop up every once in a while. He doesn't have the influence he once did in the Republican Party because George W. Bush was such a failure. But Karl Rove was a disciple of Lee Atwater's, and they have come along and developed the style of politics that we have today. If someone has a positive attribute, you don't acknowledge that and just say, yes, that's great, but let me tell you why I'm better. No. Due to Lee Atwater, due to Karl Rove, if someone does something really great, you have to make it awful. So none of us get to just enjoy anything good about anybody. And let me give you a perfect example. Right now, the attacks on Tim Walz are coming out all over the social media. The bots are going active. Did you know Tim Walz, who served 24 years in the National Guard, achieved the rank of Command Sergeant Major, is the highest ranking enlisted man to ever serve in our government? Yeah, Heidi G. Thank you so much. It was exactly. It is what's led to the Swift boat attacks, which has morphed into our modern stuff. I'm telling you, I love being part of this community and how much you people know. It is so nice talking to people that understand what I am saying. Francis, thank you for the support. The way I see it, this is a race between your favorite aunt and your fun-loving dad versus your arrogant boss and your weird cousin. Yeah, great way to frame it. Great way to frame it. But yeah, so 24 years, reaching the rank of Command Sergeant Major. So clearly, Tim Walz is a traitor. No, really. That's what's going around on social media right now. He is a traitor. And because he left the Army, because he retired after 24 years of service, that, like you said, somebody put in the comments a minute ago, that's a lifer. Because he retired after 24 years of service and didn't go to Iraq, he's a traitor. And he betrayed his unit, and he betrayed his soldiers. Thank you, Alien Fan. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. And he's a traitor. That's their attack on that. Now, they forget to tell you that he deployed to Europe during Operation Enduring Freedom, where he served as logistics. See, they count on people not knowing for like every one combat soldier that you have in the field, your average Army takes 7 additional soldiers. We have about 10 additional soldiers that are required to put them there. So according to the Republican Party, every soldier that are affectionately known as Pogues, people other than Grunt, Pogues, they're all traitors. That's it. That's their attack. That's their attack. Their attack for the fact that he's worldly and loves people and is friendly and outgoing is he's a commie. He's a commie. He's owned by China, which is just idiocy. But that's the attacks. That's what's coming back our door. And we need to know this as we enjoy how well Tim Walz does. I don't want you caught flat-footed by what comes the other direction. I don't want you to have pause or a bad feeling or anything like that. Knowing in advance that these meritless, insane attacks are absolutely 100% coming. You've got to know, I know it takes the wind out of their sails. It saps them. The attacks on him for being a teacher. You know, he goes out, he's beloved by his students. He's had a great teaching career. He was a coach. Just all around good guy. 1 second. All right, there we go. The attacks on that are that in 1995, while he was a teacher, he got a DUI. He got arrested for DUI 30 years ago. Now, the man doesn't drink. Hell, from what I understand, which I don't understand, and this is the only notch I can find to criticize the man, is that he doesn't even drink coffee. He's a Diet Mountain Dew guy, from what everybody says. Exactly. They're really searching hard for some way that somebody's a victim in all this. This is their politics. I mean, the guy's a teacher, which makes him a hero right there. Teachers are freaking heroes. If you've never been in a classroom, you know, I worked briefly as a substitute teacher. Whew, let me tell you, salute the teachers. They are freaking heroes just for being teachers. They really are. But yeah, to me, that attack just makes him more real. He's not some fake facade. He's really that guy. He grew up on a farm. He really, you know, as I was talking to Mrs. Texas Paul about that, she's like, man, who among us hasn't really screwed up and drove when you had a little too much to drink? And be honest. I mean, as responsible as we all are, have you ever driven when you had that third drink? How many of us could have had DUIs? To me, it just kind of makes you more relatable. And this is their attack on him after 3 decades of teaching. He's a traitor for having served for 24 years, deployed to Europe, you know, in a logistics capacity during Operation Enduring Freedom. But he retired in 2005 to run for Congress and beat their butts in a red district that voted for George W. Bush twice. And he's a traitor. So you get it. You get it. It doesn't hold up because the guy he really is, what his record really is when he was in Congress. Yeah, he is great on supporting agricultural. He's from Minnesota. I mean, he is absolutely supported our farm and ranch communities 100%. He's one of the best allies a farmer or rancher has had in Congress. That's who the guy is. He's a family man. And I love the story about how he met his wife. His wife, Gwen, they were both teachers and they were both working in temporary, you know, the temporary buildings that they set up because there aren't enough classrooms to house all the students because we never really invest in enough infrastructure in our schools. So they're out in they're both teaching in these temporary buildings, and she absolutely despised Tim. She was just furious at him because he's got that big booming voice. And he kept interrupting her class because they could hear him through the wall. And he kept getting her kids' attention. I hated the guy. I just hated him. It's made me laugh and made me smile because that is exactly not exactly, but very similar to the story where how me and my wife met and fell in love is she absolutely despised me when we first met. She did. Oh my God, we used to argue. Oh man, I had to tell you, we did. We used to argue like crazy, debating different issues. We saw things so freaking different. And just to fall in love, you know, I mean, it just hit home for me. It was very real for me, you know. Every story that comes out about him is just makes me like the guy just that much more. Yeah. That's not a great attack there to attack JD Vance that way. By the way, he actually served in the Marine Corps. He did. He was a Marine. But I tell you what cemented it for me when I was looking into his background. And do we have any car guys? Do we have any car guys in the group? I love cars. I love cars. I love old cars. I love new cars. Do we have any car guys in the group? Because you really got to be a car guy to understand the significance of this picture. This is Tim Walz's hobby. His restored 1972 Blue Internationals Harvester Scout. And that's it. That's all I needed to know right there. I'm voting for the guy. That's it. Ooh, 66 Nova, huh? Nice. 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 My first car was a 79 Monte Carlo that I took a 350 out of a rolled pickup truck and threw an Edelbrock intake and carb. Anyways, I'm digressing. But yeah, that right there was enough for me to vote for him. That's enough for me. You've got to understand the story behind this. The 66 no go. Do you know the Chevy Nova was one of the most popular cars to ever sell in the United States of America? It was. And they couldn't give the things away in Mexico. They just couldn't give them away. They sold none of them in Mexico. Because va in Spanish means go. Your car was named the Chevy No Go. Oh my God. I'm telling you, being an executive in the auto industry does not automatically qualify you as being a smart person. I have to tell you, because for more than a decade, you will still see Toyotas. And I don't think anybody argues that Toyota isn't a great car company. But there are Toyotas that have written on the side of them, turd. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. The high end, like the every manufacturer has their performance edition, the ZR1 or whatever. For Toyota, it was Toyota Racing Development. So they put in big red letters on the side of their trucks and cars, TRD. Turd. I don't know if nobody ever told them. Oh my God. I literally was shopping. My last truck, I didn't need a heavy duty 1-ton truck anymore. I traded in 2006 Ford 1-ton diesel dually. And I didn't need that heavy a truck anymore. So I actually considered the Toyotas for like that long. Till I saw they all said turd on the side of them. And I didn't give a damn if Toyota was making the best truck. And it is. It's supposed to be awesome. Toyota Racing Development is supposed to be awesome. But anyways, yeah, I'm getting off subject. I know I am. But it's just freaking hilarious. And I love the fact that he's the kind of guy that bought, restored, and tinkers on an International Scout. International Scouts for car guys are much beloved, very hard to find, fewer and fewer of them on the road every year, because you got these old farmers that have them sitting out in their pastures and they're just rotting away to nothing. And International just quit making trucks for some reason. Nobody knows why. They just stopped. But yeah, folks, that's what we're looking at. We've got Kamala Harris, who's just doing an incredible job. She's just doing an incredible job. She really is. She's inspiring. She's got everybody excited. Policy-wise, she's just killing it. She's just killing it. Tim Walz I'm telling you, I am so impressed with the man. It's just been incredible the way he's come out and been able to walk that line between being, this is the nice guy, this is your favorite uncle, this is the guy that, you know, huge dad energy, but can turn around and go at it. I mean, he is really a great attack job. And I got to say, just speaking as somebody that's been in politics forever, followed politics forever, I really thought that the decision would be strategic. It would be based on what state you can deliver. I was recommending high-ranking military personnel that were from states like Texas and states that we could put into play, things like that. The Harris campaign said, no, we've got this. We've got this. We don't have to go for a swing state with our VP. We're going to go after the quality of person. We're going to go after somebody that can be a really great VP. And that's what they did. And it's paying off in spades. Kamala Harris is leading in every swing state. The Republicans are flailing. It is very negative, very dark, very ugly over there. And they don't even understand that is what's turning people off. That is what's turning people off. So yeah, take a few minutes. Understand, we're 3 weeks away from our first Burr month. We're only 90 days away from the election, 91 days away from the election. This is going to be a good year for you and your family, for the country. This is going to be a great holiday season. You're only 8 weeks away from buying Halloween costumes for your kids. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. It's what, 13 weeks from Thanksgiving, which means next week you'll see the Christmas stuff go on sale at Walmart. It's going to be good, folks. But please, I'm going to leave you with this. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz can be the best people in the world. They can have the best policies in the world. They can have all of the attributes you want. But that's not how our system works. They cannot do this just by being great people or what you want or whatever. Our system is built around you. It is. You're it. I keep telling you that. Thank you for the support, ET. I really appreciate you. I'm glad you could be here, man. I picked up the message for you last week. I'm sorry you couldn't be with us on Sunday. ET was out working hard. I saw you in chat before you left, and I tried to get a message out to you before you left. Thank you for being here, brother. It is less than 13 weeks until the general election. Make sure of your voter registration deadlines. Make sure when your early voting starts and stops. Make sure to go and vote. Florida primary early voting August 10th through 17th. Thank you, ET. I appreciate you for always giving everybody the reminder. And it is exactly where I was wrapping this up with. Folks, you need to verify your voter registration. You need to get registered if you're not registered in the next couple weeks. We're 91 days out. Most states require that you already be registered and on the books 30 days prior to the election. That's just the law. So you don't have 91 days to get this done. Everything can be wonderful, but it requires your participation. Donate if you can, volunteer if you can, but for God's sake, over the next few weeks, you need to get you And everybody that you want to get to the polls, you have got to get those plans in place and acted on over the next couple weeks, not months, weeks. And let me tell you, we are catching them already. Ohio purged 140,000 people off the voter rolls. In and of itself, it's not nefarious to purge people. It's not. You know, you'll get a lot of people that'll say stuff like that just to scare the shit out of you. In and of itself, for a state to purge voters off the voter rolls is an annual thing. It happens every year because people die. It's normal. What's not normal is what the Republicans are doing, and the people that are definitely not dead or haven't moved are ending up on these lists of voters being purged. They're really doing that, folks. They're really doing that. Georgia has really made it extremely simple for nefarious actors to voluntarily purge you off the voter registration rolls. They have a website set up that is unsecure, and with just some basic information, someone in Georgia can remove you voluntarily, albeit criminally, from the voter registration rolls. You better believe those Republicans are going to do that. They're going to cheat. They cheat every year, every single election. They cheat. They have always tried to keep them. It's the same every election. Democrats try to get as many people as possible registered and voting. Republicans, every election, try to exclude as many people as possible. Let me tell you, it happened to me, and I caught it. I just happened to be down at the courthouse taking care of some business. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to check on this. They had changed my voter registration from where I live now to an address I hadn't lived at in decades. I hadn't lived at that. It was across the state. You know, I live in the northeastern corner of the state now. They were saying I lived in Southeast Texas. And I had to, thank God, it wasn't right at an election. I had to fix it. Turns out a GOP group, or one of these right-wing groups that just cheat for a living, and they're out there, sent a caging letter to one of my former addresses. The one that, remember, this was an address that was like 2 addresses back. They sent it to my last address, which is what they do. And if you don't know what a caging letter is, I'm about to explain it. To check to see if I still lived there, and I didn't respond. But they didn't know I know the people that lived at that address that I used to live at. I know them. So when this all got kind of sideways and crazy, I called, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got a letter from you. We returned to sender it, because, you told us not to worry about forwarding mail, this, that, and the other. They sent a caging letter to my prior address and then contested it, which kicked my voter registration back to the address before that, which is not the way it's supposed to happen. But that's what the state did. Folks, a caging letter is they will write a letter to you. These groups will write a letter to you. And Heidi can tell you all about caging. She really can. She is wonderful. She is one of those people that is just head first into our democracy, and she sees it all. And she'll be able to affirm for you what caging is and how nefarious it is. She says, attention Texans, Secretary of State gave elections office the August 7th deadline to clean up, quote, purge their voter rolls. Please check after August 7th. Thank you for that information, Heidi. Thank you very much. at mytexasvotes.com. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate you for sharing that. This is a caging letter, and they do it in every state of the union. They send a letter to you telling you to verify that you still live there and you are still registered to vote there correctly. A lot of people get these letters and they're like, none of your business, and throw it away. When they don't get a response back, these organizations that are not part of the government at all take that documentation to the Secretary of State's office and says, these people were challenging their voter registration because they didn't respond and didn't verify. That is 100% how the process works. And these Republicans are all on board with supporting it. The other thing that Republicans do to cheat is, how many of you have the exact same signature in every situation? If I handed you a contract and you had a signature line that long, no, you don't. And I'm about to prove why you don't. And I gave you a contract with a signature line that long, what would that signature look like? Okay, compare that to the signature when you get to the store and they hand you that little plastic strip to sign on. Not the same signature, is it? Is that the same signature that appears on your driver's license? How much room did you have to sign? Of course not. Of course not. But they will go and they will compare the signatures that appear on your ballots, and they will say, okay, this doesn't match. In fact, many Republican secretaries of state have hired vendors, computer companies. They don't even have a human being look at it. And they have a percentage of variance that your signature can be before they just reject your vote outright. So be mindful when you go vote and you have to sign for things. Remember which signature you used. I have one signature where I fill out every letter of my name very carefully. And then I have one signature that is just a P, an A, a swoop of an L, an S, and then a swoop. And it's never the same. And anybody that tells you theirs is exactly the same is wrong. It's not true. So please, just a reminder, 90 days to the election doesn't mean you have 90 days to take care of your business and verify your voter registration. They're actively trying to cheat. People from these states like Heidi, I've had people from Florida reach out to me. ET will tell you they have been purging voters. I had somebody from, the reason I know they just purged voting, 140,000 voters off the rolls just the other day in Ohio, is an Ohio Democrat emailed me and said, look at this. Look, this is really happening. Check your registration. Make your plan to vote. But by all means, this right here. Enjoy this happiness. Enjoy this happiness. Things are going well. Things are going the right direction. Team, we all do better when we all do better is winning. All you got to do is show up and vote. And we've got this. This is going to be a great holiday season. It really is. This is going to be one of the best Christmases in years. Enjoy it. That's what I've got for you today. This old Texas Paul out. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. You have no idea. You make this possible for me to do full time. I am very grateful. Enjoy some Texas cities at night. Stop. Stop. I almost forgot one of the most important things. Don't leave. Stop. My wife would kill me if I forgot to talk about this. I brought it to her attention. One of the attacks against Tim Walz has been the disgusting MAGA. They're like children. They're like little broken children. Have nicknamed Tim Walz Tampon Tim. Tampon Tim. You want to know why they nicknamed him Tampon Tim? Because as governor, he signed a law that funded schools to provide feminine hygiene products for girls in school. Now, guys, you may not get how important that is, but there's not a woman in your life who has not had an emergency where she was caught without a feminine hygiene product at the wrong time. And Tim Walz, being the kind of guy he is, signed a bill that said, look, we're going to have, for schoolgirls, we're going to have feminine hygiene products available free of charge, just the way it works. You may not know this, but school nurses already come out of their own salary. This was very common for school nurses to give these things away out of their own salary. Tim Walz just did the right thing. They think it's an attack. And I want to just stress to you how proud of you folks, especially you women who are out there that have co-opted this. And yes, they are. This is what my wife was really lecturing me about. They are expensive. They are expensive. You women have co-opted that attack and made it a positive. And people are calling him Tampon Tim in a good way. Just like he worked to get free lunches in schools. Because let me tell you something. The infrastructure is already there. If you want to fight childhood hunger, breakfast and lunch in a school, the infrastructure is already there. It is the most efficient way to make sure every kid that wants food or needs food can get food. And Tim Walz did that. That's who the man is. And they're calling him a communist for doing that. And they're calling him Tampon Tim for providing feminine hygiene products that corporations in this country, you have no idea how ridiculously expensive these products are. They really are. It is, I want you to imagine being a young woman in a family that is struggling and having to say, I need money for this. I need you to take money out of the house for this. This is real, folks. There are young women that deal with this. And yeah, those awful, disgusting maggots tried to turn that into a slur. And I just want to salute you ladies, for taking that and running with it and running with hashtag Tampon Tim. I love you folks. I just love you folks. I really do. But I couldn't end the show without talking about that particular attack. I want you to be aware of these attacks that are coming. I do. I just want you to be aware. So yeah, enjoy some Texas cities at night. Sorry about that. Thank you.